Andrew writes in and says, help me! That's how he started it. Help me. He said, I have the stink of death. I can smell it on myself. I know from listening to you and from my experience in the field that this repels women. I need help getting rid of it. I've tried everything I can think of, but get no results. How can you fake confidence, even if you don't have any? Thanks, Tom. Andrew. Well, first of all, let's talk about what the stink of death is. It isn't so much a specific condition that you can verbalize. You look at somebody and you know they have it, but I'll do my best to describe it when you see it. Ever see somebody who looks like they're afraid of their own shadow? Somebody who looks like they have never succeeded ever? Not just at picking up chicks, but at just about anything. Somebody who looks like a beaten dog. Somebody who, will sit there and meekly try to pitch game on chicks. And the chicks just kind of... The chicks don't even get nasty with them. You know how chicks sometimes, when you're really aggressive trying to pick up a chick, they get really, nasty and sarcastic? This is a guy who looks so pathetic, looks like such a beaten dog. Chicks don't even bother coming up with snappy comebacks. They just kind of sniff at him. You know what I'm talking about. This is somebody who believes he's got the worst job in the world, believes that nobody will talk to him, usually is dressed kind of wrong in some way because he's not sure what would attract people. He's not sure what looks cool because he's not sure of himself. So he kind of veers halfway between trying to look stylish and looking like a fool. You know who I'm talking about. You see, the stink of death is very complicated, but there are people who have it. And they are the people who have this cloud around their head at all times. When you go into the room and you see them there, you know who they are. You know the ones at the bar. You know the ones on the dance floor. No, they're not even on the dance floor. They're on the perimeter of the dance floor. Looking, hoping somebody will throw them a bone. You know the ones I'm talking. Now, if that happens to be you, if you, like Andrew, have the stink of death on you, that's who I want to talk to this hour. People who have the stink of death on them, and they know it. And that, I guess, is also one of the more pathetic things about people like this. They not only have the stink of death, they know they have the stink of death, and they feel there is nothing they can ever do about it. Now, to answer Andrew's question, before we talk to those of you with the stink of death on you, let me just point out that the key to faking confidence is in coming up with a believable story. And the problem, boys, and Andrew, you specifically, is that you don't believe any story you might tell that would make you look better. You don't think anybody else would believe it because you don't believe it. But the trick to lying effectively is to be belligerent about it, to be confident about your lie. You know, you are not a house painter. You're a contractor. Or you are not a roto-rooter guy. You own a plumbing company. I mean, the point is, whatever you are, you just became your boss, your boss's boss, your boss's boss's boss. At least be that. Because at least in that case, you can confidently talk about the business, whatever that might be. And by the way, we've told some people on this show to say they're screenwriters, doctors, lawyers, whatever, if they can pull that off. Those of you with the stink of death, the best thing to do is to pick an unglamorous but very profitable profession. I used to use this one because I didn't want to tell people I worked in the radio business. I was ashamed. No, I didn't want to tell them because I didn't want to attract gold diggers. So I told another story. I told them that I owned a local Roto-Rooter franchise. And what was great about saying that I owned a local Roto-Rooter franchise is that's the kind of answer you give to a question where there will be no follow-ups. What's that like? So what exactly do you do? They won't ask. Do they really want to hear that you stuck a snake down somebody's toilet? Cleaned out all their old tampons? Do they really want to hear about that? No, they don't. You tell them something like that, and they will not ask any further questions. But if they believe you are the... Remember, you're never the Roto-Rooter man. You are the owner of the franchise, or better yet, a string of local franchises. You can't just be a plumber or a plumber's helper, boys. You have to be something that appears to be heading for greatness, even if it's in an unglamorous field like plumbing. The trick to overcoming the stink of death is to confidently lie about all of the things you're ashamed about and to sell it. If you can do that, you can overcome the stink of death. If you can't, you won't. Do you have the stink of death on you? And look at this. It's the guy who wrote the letter, Andrew. How you doing?
Hello, Tom.
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
I'm kind of surprised that you actually read my letter.
People don't believe I read these things.
No, I meant read it on the air.
I read it, and then I read it on the air, of course.
It's great to hear from you, Tom. I'd like to hear some advice.
Well, I mentioned my advice on the air. My advice was, what do you do? Well, I'll repeat it, but we'll fill in the blanks here. What do you do for a living?
I work for an engineering company. I work in the accounting department.
Well, you're not. No, you can't be an accountant and meet chicks. It's part of your problem.
I know.
No, so you're an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
Do you know anything about the business?
Not really.
Do you know who some other companies are in the business, or
yes.
what projects your company is involved in, or?
Yes.
Right, you're an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
Are you kidding? How much better does that sound? I'm an engineer.
It sounds a lot better than an accountant.
Right.
You have to dress the part, right?
Well, it doesn't hurt to dress the part, especially if you're going out to particular places where an engineer or somebody who makes a good living who's a professional might go.
I only bring that up because I've been out at places before and had girls come up to me and tell me I look like an accountant.
Well, you're going to tell them you're an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
Now, don't dress like an accountant.
Yeah, I mean, how would an accountant dress? I didn't realize that I was, like, dressing like an accountant.
Well, I do think accountants have a certain look.
A certain look they can't escape?
Oh, I think they can escape it. They just don't. They're not aware that accountants have a certain look.
Mm.
And you need to be aware of what that is and kind of change it up. Yes. A good way to do this is to invest a little time in yourself. One thing you might do is start targeting places where you might want to hang out and meet chicks.
Okay.
But before you do, don't go to check out the chicks. Go to check out the guys.
Okay.
See what they're wearing. See what they drink.
See what they drink?
Yeah, like what's your drink?
I just usually drink beer.
Mm-hmm. The accountant might drink a martini. I mean, an engineer might drink a martini.
Oh.
Or...
And girls notice that kind of stuff, huh?
Of course they do. I mean, if you want to be convincing as a liar, you have to look and see how people act.
Pay attention to detail.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, you do.
Okay. I can do that.
All right.
I can do that.
That's what you're going to do.
So go out and stake out a place and see what the guys are doing.
Correct.
And then see what the successful guys are doing and try to emulate that.
Correct. Because you're going to be playing... It's like you're a method actor and you're learning your role. You're going to be playing a part.
So this is my research.
Right. And you're going to... And by the way, when you do the research, how much confidence do you think you'll have now that you've studied the behavior and the habits of the successful?
Yeah, it should be easier than just going up cold, huh?
Right. And you will not have the stink of death if you confidently look the part. Just remember, you're not looking for a wife. You're looking to get laid.
Right.
So if she ever figures out that you lied to her, who cares? You already got what you wanted.
That's true. Well, what about, like, body language? What kind of body language, like, gives off the negative stink of death?
Well, desperately loitering around women, hoping they'll talk to you, or trying to think of the right thing to say, or stumbling and bumbling into an opening line of some kind.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Oh.
When you go to a bar, you've got better things to do than talk to them.
Yeah, just go in and ignore them.
Ignore them. You are there.
My boss always tells me.
Well, that's what works. You go in there, like, for example, you're there to meet a buddy of yours.
Right.
You're not there to pick up chicks.
Right.
And you are going to look like you're waiting for a friend to show up. And
right.
you're going to concentrate on looking like that. Imagine your buddy is going to show up there and have a drink with you.
Right.
How would you look in that situation as opposed to loitering around girls? It's different.
Yeah, I'd look different.
You're looking straight forward. You're talking to the bartender.
Yeah,
You're having a little more conversation with the bartender.
Right, and not like turning my head every 5 seconds to look at the girls.
Also, do not be looking at your cell phone all the time to see if it rang or if you have a message. That also looks desperate. Ever been with somebody who's constantly looking at their phone?
Yes.
Put it away.
Put it away.
Put it away. You don't want to look like you're trying to hook up.
Right.
And I think that's a big mistake a lot of guys make.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever thought about it like that before.
Well, I try to look at it as an outsider, and I see all these people, men and women both, by the way, checking the phone, checking the phone, checking the phone, dialing, holding down the one button and checking for voicemail, checking.
Especially if they're in there by themselves.
It looks so pathetic. You know, in the case of being alone at the bar, if you're checking that phone, it's going to look like some chick was coming and she stood you up.
Oh.
And you're desperate.
Wow.
Don't look like that. Hang on a second. Candy has something to say to Andrew. Candy, what is it?
Hi, Tom. I just want to call and say that women don't want more liars in the world. Maybe Andrew can just be his accountant himself and get fixed that way.
That's not working.
It's not working.
That's not working. That's not working.
Well, let's break it down. Let's analyze it. Because some women like accountants.
Where do these women hang out?
Not the kind of women he wants.
Well, what kind of women are you looking for, and where are you hanging out?
I'm not looking for a wife. I just want to meet girls and have a good time.
Well, are you saying that? Maybe that
he wants to get laid by hot bimbos. He's not looking. An accountant generally is left with the chick they always say has a nice personality. Isn't that right, Andrew? People try to fix you up all the time.
In the field, yeah.
I know a nice girl, and of course she's a butterface at best.
Right.
Like a butterface would be a step up from the people they try to set you up with.
Right.
See, Candy, that's the reality of being an accountant.
That is the reality.
That's not true. I know hot chicks that like what we call nerd boys.
There are not a lot of those, and you can't bank on that. You know what? There's a lot of bimbos who like to be with guys who are professionals, who have money, who look like they're going somewhere.
So Andrew probably makes, what, $60,000-$70,000 a year as an accountant? That's enough for a successful woman. Combine your income, and you'll be all right.
He's not looking for a successful woman. He's looking for a woman who'll spread her legs.
I'm not looking to add a name to my bank account. I'll tell you that much.
The other day, there was somebody I was with a group of friends, and the wife of this couple I know was talking to another friend of mine who is not married, and says to him, "Oh, I can introduce you to people. I can introduce you to people. In fact, I know plenty of administrative assistants who, you know, they're really smart." And I like jumped in and said, "Smart is not what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody dumb enough to spread her legs and give us what we want. We don't want smart. Smart ass, smart mouth, shut up." Isn't that right, Andrew?
It's true. That's true.
Maybe if Andrew settles down, though, he could, get it on a regular basis.
That's the deal. But you see, that every time there's a guy like this, Poindexter or the accountant or whoever, that's what they say. Well, maybe you should settle down. So unlike the tennis pro or the ski instructor or the guy with $1 billion,
right, having the exciting life,
you should settle down with a 4 or a 5 who'll make you dinner every night. She'll be about 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, but she'll be nice and she'll give it to you every night.
Right.
But Andrew doesn't want to do that. He wants to get laid on a regular basis by hot chicks with no future.
All right, you tell Andrew to come to downtown Huntington Beach, and we'll get him laid.
Well, there's a lot of hot chicks with no future down in Huntington Beach. I tell you that.
I guarantee I will get him laid.
I'll bet you will, Candy. Alex with Andrew on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello?
Are you there, Alex?
I'm right here.
And Andrew?
Andrew, you there?
I think we lost him. All right, what did you want to say to him? He's listening out there.
All right, Andrew, the one thing you got to do, and I've heard this since you started talking, every time Tom says, you want to get with hot chicks or just spread their legs or something, you go like this. You got to ditch the nervous laugh.
Right.
It's going to kill you. And that's the one thing. Don't, just flat out don't laugh, because that'll just make it easier.
Well, it's like being nervous is what gets you. And that's why you have to go into a bar. You can't go into a bar or a club with the attitude like, I have to find somebody. I got to pick somebody up. I got to come up with something to say.
Well, it goes with the lying thing. If he's telling a lie, you don't want him to be chuckling every time he knows he's lying.
That's exactly
every time
right.
He says, you want to go back to my place? That's not going to work.
Yeah. No.
Flat out.
You got to be confident. You got to look like you got better things to do and better women to do.
Exactly.
Now, Andrew, do you have that nervous laugh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I have mannerisms that totally give it away, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to lose those.
Start working on those. That's got to be up there in your plans on what you got to change. The nervous laugh, the mannerisms. I don't know. I never met you, but
you wouldn't be nervous if you were just going out to have a drink.
Right.
The reason you're nervous is because you have performance anxiety. You are worried about failing again. You're worried about going out and then coming home empty-handed again.
Right.
And so it starts to freak you out. But if you went to the bar and the idea was to have a couple of drinks and just enjoy the scene, you would not be nervous.
Because there would be no build-up.
There would be no expectation at all.
The other thing kind of goes with that is obviously you want to get with the chicks, but go to a bar that you don't ever go to and that you're probably never going to go to again.
Yeah, what kind of
bars?
bars?
And then just practice.
It
doesn't matter what kind of place. The whole point is to go somewhere that you're not going to care what anyone thinks about you the next day because you're never going to go there again. That way you can,
quickly, Andrew, what did you want to say, Andrew? What were you going to ask?
Well, I was going to ask what kind of bars that we're going to, like dive bars, or are you going to like the yard house?
For practice? No, you know what? You go to El Torito or something like that. Great place to practice. TGI Friday. Corey on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Corey.
How goes it?
It's going pretty well.
I wouldn't say so much that I have the stink of death now. I'm about halfway to a full recovery from that, but a couple of years ago I probably had it worse than Andrew did a little while ago.
Uh-huh.
I got out of the Army in Germany in middle of 2001, right at the same time that my wife divorced me. I mean, totally crushed me. I moved back to Tacoma, Washington, and basically I kind of took your advice to the extreme, even though I wasn't listening to you at the time, and did some things that you probably like shake your head in shame about, just because they were so freaking heinous.
Oh boy!
I burned a lot. I banged everything that moved. I burned up about $10,000 in separation pay inside of like 4 months. Granted, most of it was investing in musical instruments, which I still have.
Oh boy! Mm-hmm.
But still,
how's that music career going?
Well, I started a tribute band for one of my favorite bands, but our bass player flaked on us, so it never really went anywhere. But I just play for fun. That's mostly what it is anyway. I never intended to make a career out of it. Just owning collectibles is a nice thing. But
could you afford to own some nice collectible musical instruments?
Well, to finally be able to afford to have a $2,000 guitar that nowadays is worth about $5 because it's out of production.
Which you'll never sell.
I might, maybe, if I really got desperate, but you're right. I probably will never sell it. But anyways, just to burn through that kind of money that fast, and I was in the Army for 8 years. I wanted to kick back and relax. And before I knew it, I was having to apply for unemployment right on the same time that I finally got out of my friend's apartment who's let me live there. And I basically went from being, rich and popular and all that other good stuff to burning all my bridges. I had like 2 friends left, and it became a month-to-month struggle to survive. And needless to say, my confidence was in the crapper. So I ended up getting a job, which also looked like another dead-end road, but one thing led to another. And after 2.5 years there, I'm now on a fast track for promotion. I'm in a junior leadership position there. I got involved with a really great girl who, despite your claims to the contrary, she's 40, and she's the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'm 30.
Right. Well, she'll be the best thing that ever happened to you when she's 50, and you're 40.
Assuming that we're still together then, it won't really matter. I'm more concerned with what's going on the inside than anything else. It still works for me, Tom, believe me. It still works for me.
What does she look like?
She is 4'10", about 115, and she had a boob job back in the day, but I don't know. It's not sagging, believe me. She still passes the pencil test at 40.
Yeah.
But
is that because she has natural underwire?
Essentially, yeah.
Uh-huh.
No.
There's no place for them to sag.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if I was going to do anything where that's concerned, I'd ask her to get them, like, because she's a C cup now, I'd ask her to get them to, like, small B, because I actually like them petite, and especially on someone that short, since I'm 5'10". But she was actually one of the two friends that I had back in the day, and rather than going through, BSing my way into lying to everyone else after I'd already lied to them and screwed them left and right. I mean, I actually got a pair of sisters back to back, and burned my bridges with both of them, which I really feel bad about now.
You didn't feel bad about it at the time.
Oh, no.
What a story to tell.
Yeah, the pictures turned out really great, but what ended up happening was the girl that I'm seeing right now, she values education. Her claim, and I'm really happy that she feels this way, is that I stimulate her in between her ears and nowhere else. Well, at first, that was her attraction to me, is I stimulated her between her ears. And it made me feel good. She instilled a sense of confidence in me, and with her guidance, since she's got a bachelor's degree from USC, she got my little happy butt enrolled in college. And I'm in my sophomore year right now. I have a GPA of 3.7. I'm also the public relations secretary for the Honor Society at my school, looking to get a bachelor's degree up at UW and actually make something of myself. So I still suck out on the dance floor. I'm a wallflower like you would not believe and all that other good stuff, but I never go to those types of places anyway, so when I do go, I'm like, hey, you guys, I just watch the jiggling.
So you're just happy to have anybody.
Well, no, I don't just have anybody. I have somebody who picked me up from the dregs of society, and it's not...
She had to. She's 10 years older than you, and she's got some junkage in the trunkage.
Yeah, but I'm more, like I said, I'm more concerned with what's going on in the inside.
Well,
I don't consider myself...
I must say, Corey, that is the kind of thing that guys say when they can't get anything else.
And she actually wonders about that. She actually says, when I'm concerned that if you get your degree and you're surrounding yourself with all of these wonderful young ladies and everything, I'm worried that whether or not you're going to leave me. And I can't honestly say that I'm in love with her because I got involved with her like for 4 months after my divorce, and I was really guarded with my emotions. But I definitely do love her, and I say it's a case of loyalty. She was there when no one else was there, and the least I owe her is a commitment.
Hang on a second. Franco, what did you want to say to Corey?
It's Sam Rubin off the phone, man. If anybody in L.A. knows what I mean. This guy's Sam Rubin, totally. Dude, you're a geek. What kind of music do you play? 80s new wave or something with that guitar you have?
Actually, I have 5 of them, and I play rock and roll. But like I said, I'm not going anywhere with the music. I know I don't have a career with it. It's just owning a collectible piece.
Okay. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to this guy who wrote the letter.
The guy who wrote the letter is gone now. It's just
Corey.
Corey.
Up, dude.
Well, basically, if the guy who wrote the letter is still listening, what you got to do is you got to get yourself a cool car. If you don't have a cool car, you got to get yourself into sports. You either got to know something about sports or you got to hit the gym to make people think that you can play sports. Basically, if you live in L.A., and it sounded to me like this guy isn't even an American. It sounded to me like he's a foreigner. Another thing he could do, he could tell these girls that his parents or family in some other country where he's from got a lot of money, and that'll help him out too. In other words, just what he could do is just go to the West Side and do what all the Persian guys do.
Yeah, pretend to be Italian. Paul on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Hi, Paul.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
I used to have the stick of death on me, too, and then some buddies of mine took me aside, and they finally told me what I needed to do. And, I went down to Kenneth Cole, and I spent like $500 on buying a bunch of really nice new clothes, and then I went to a bar, and I started practicing just like you said, and the key to it is that when a woman comes up and starts talking to you, what you need to do is make it look like they're just annoying the hell out of you. You got to make it seem like there's like absolutely nothing that you want to hear from this person, and that's what they want. They're attention whores, and that's what they are looking for, Tom.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt about it. But the thing you cannot do with an attention whore is give her what she wants.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Cannot.
Make them, you look at them like they're crazy or something like that.
Or just don't look at them at all.
Yeah.
Make them talk to you. Make them demand answers.
You know, and also when you're sitting at the bar talking to the bartender, be laughing and having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they want. They don't want you sitting there being all willy-nilly.
Women love, and this is one of the things they love saying no to you.
Exactly.
They love it. It is how they boost their own egos. The trick is never to give them an opportunity to say no.
Right.
Don't ask any question where the answer could be no. Learn from sales. Salespeople know this tactic.
And that's what I'm in. I'm a real estate agent, so I know exactly.
I used to be a licensed real estate salesman at one time.
Yeah.
I have sold advertising. Every sales seminar, they teach you, never ask a question where the answer could be no.
Exactly.
And one of the things one of the examples they give is, for example, instead of saying, "Are you free on Tuesday?" you say, "What's better, Tuesday or Thursday?" Never ask a question where the answer could be no.
Exactly. Give them options.
Can I buy you a drink is a very bad question to ask. Can I get your phone number is a bad question to ask.
One other thing that I do, too, when you're talking about embellishing on what you do for a living, I always stay mysterious. So I just say, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they just eat that up, you know, and they keep on pounding you for information. And when you don't give it to them, you show them that you don't really care enough to tell that much about you, and that hooks them in, too.
Yeah, you don't look desperate. That's also a good answer.
Exactly. Another thing I like to do, you know, all women, they try to accentuate their best body part when they dress. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll give them a look at the area that I know that they're trying to, you know, impress upon me. And I'll kind of look at it and kind of give it a look kind of a thing. And that drives them nuts.
Yeah. I had a member of my family who was visiting me in L.A. And he said, I'm wondering how I can meet chicks because I said, what do you mean how you can meet chicks? How do you meet chicks back home? He said, well, back home is different. In L.A., it's all these hot chicks, and they're all a bunch of gold diggers. What should I say? And he said, I'm a circulation manager for a magazine. What am I going to say? That I count magazines? I count unsold magazines?
You're a magazine editor.
I keep a spreadsheet. No, you're a screenwriter, for Christ's sake.
There you go.
You have two scripts optioned to DreamWorks. How are they going to check at 11:30 at night? What are they going to do, call DreamWorks on the phone?
Exactly.
Hi, can I speak to Jeffrey Katzenberg, please? I got a guy here trying to pick me up in a bar. Says he's got an option on 2 screenplays. I was wondering, can you verify this? I mean, come on.
And especially when you're looking for the bump and run anyway, who cares? You could be the president of a foreign country for anybody knows.
Absolutely. I've told guys to show up at the bars at any arena where there's a game going on, like a hockey game. Who would know who the checking line is on a team? The fourth line. Who would know who the left wing is? That's you.
Exactly.
You slick your hair back, you buy a bottle of Bud Light and stand around looking nervous, and poof, you're a hockey player.
Yeah, you know, it is tough, especially I hear a lot of these guys, they were in bad relationships or whatever, and, you know, it does take a while to get your confidence back up, but you know what? The girls out there are way more scared than the guys are. They're a little scared kitty cats, and you got to come in there and be the tiger and take control of the situation because that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for guys to talk about puppy dogs and ice cream. You got to go in and see what you want and just go for it.
There's no doubt. They don't want to talk about puppy dogs. They want to talk about doing it doggy style. Rob, on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
How you doing?
All right, Rob.
Yeah, so basically I'm one of those losers now. I'm driving a limo. I got someone in the back, so I can't talk too loud. I've been lying to girls or whoever, telling them I'm a limo company owner when really I'm just a driver. And I lost my hair over the last. I'm 44. I started losing my hair bad, in the last 3 years, and I lost my girl 2 years ago, and can't seem to get new girls. I lost all my. I used to. What you're talking about. I used to be confident and act like I didn't care with the girls when I had my hair, and I could get them. I got tons of girls, but now without the hair, I can't. I lost all my confidence. I can't do anything. and I'm wondering what to do about the hair.
Well, most guys shave their head. That's what they do.
I cut all my hair off really short now.
No, not even. You got to shave the whole thing, man.
I can't because I had a body cast, and they screwed pins in my head with.
Oh God!
And I got a scar on my neck, so I can't. It's
you
just
kind of got the Frankenstein look going on there. What's up?
So I'm ruined. I don't know what to do. But I've been driving limos for like 2 months now, and I love hearing you on TV or the radio. You're like saving me.
That's my job here, Rob. Well, keep listening. We'll figure it out.
So what should I do about the hair?
Again, you should keep it as short as possible. But believe me, the more money women think you have, the less they care.
Yeah, so just keep lying.
Keep promoting yourself.
Okay, buddy.
He just bought a limo company also in San Diego.
All right.
Where they can never check. I'll blow you up. Here you go, baby. Vaughn on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
All right, Vaughn.
Just glad to wait. First of all, I want to say thank you for your entertainment 5 days a week. And I got to give you a lot of credit for all the stuff you say. People got to understand you are a smart man.
Thank you.
What I want to say is I've been single for a very long time. I'm 27, and I've had my ins and outs. But I'm a decent looking guy, so I'm broke though. So I don't have I've never had anything to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing is is this is what I found out over time. Like the guy said about Kenneth Cole, it's not about your clothes. You got to have a nice pair of shoes, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, going in, it's so funny. I found out we've looked at women. You walk in, they'll look at your shoes.
That's right.
All you guys need to grab yourself a nice pair of shoes, a different pair of looking shoes.
Right.
And
not a faggy pair of shoes. You want to get a nice pair of shoes that just looks like money.
Absolutely. We don't want some Euro trash. We just want a nice pair,
Right.
Something different that will go well. I haven't seen those, but it is crazy, but it's true. Then, second of all, you want to, it's the more that comes with you to the club or wherever you're at the bar, the merrier. Because, like you said, if you're with a crowd and you're having your own fun, you're much more attractive then.
Yes.
You're always going to do better, I found. When you're by yourself and you're looking around, that's when it's going to be unsuccessful. But when you're having a good time with your friends, and if you even have some girlfriends, have them come, they'll make you much more attractive. So what you want to do is you want to, if you can't see a girl at the bar, say hi to her before you talk to her. You know what I mean? If you're walking by, say hi. So maybe you can get 2 or 3 of those set up. You know what I mean? So you could say hi, then you run into them later, and then you start a conversation with them because, I've never had anything, so you got to look at it like a game. Like you're, when you make up, tell them what you're doing. It's all a game, so you see what works for you. It's not a lie. You agree with me?
Well, Vaughn, I don't believe you should start conversations with women. I believe you should let them start conversations with you, no matter how long it takes. But other than that, I do agree with what you're saying.